What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys had a lot better weekend than what we saw down on Crawford Street. But thank you all for tuning in to the Juicebox Heroes Weekend Wrap Up. I'm one of your hosts, PK. The Dubon Fan Club president, Chris Moreno, is here. He's in a fantastic mood. Sweet Bee Bone Bryles is here. He's also in a fantastic mood. Fellas, how was your weekend?
It was very long, man. Very long. So we did fall ball evals yesterday, and that took about 9 hours with the rain. We had some lightning delays, and that got done. And then we had select ball practice right after that. So I didn't even get home till like close to 8. Just to come home and then, see this fantastic team do what it does. And it's a whole lot of frustrating. Besides that, Browse, how was your weekend?
Thank you for that nice and calm intro into my weekend. My weekend was busy as well. Obviously, I was up at evals with you, and then I did get the pleasure of going to the game on Saturday. So I can't complain about that. I want to get into that a little bit more later. I think that's probably going to be the positive highlight of this show, I would imagine. And then today, super busy out on the golf course with my daughter. She had a South Texas Junior PGA Tour tournament today, and then a concert afterwards. And now we're here talking Astros baseball. I didn't get to see the game today, and it sounds like it didn't really matter. So, hey, how about you, buddy? How was your weekend?
It was good. My oldest turned 21 on Friday, so we celebrated.
There you go.
We celebrated him Friday evening for dinner. Yesterday, we celebrated my youngest daughter's 12th birthday. Her birthday was on the 9th, but we celebrated it yesterday. So it was birthday, sprinkled in some Astros. Today was very uneventful. I actually watched the BMW Championship. Not that it matters to this podcast, but that's what I watched today. So
you can tell Logan I'll be bringing him a 6-pack on Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let him know.
You can also tell your 12-year-old I'll also bring her a 6-pack on Saturday.
Okay. Of the zeros.
Juices.
Do the Michelob zeros.
There you go. I like
zero alcohol. But yeah, man. So look, let's get into this disaster of a series. Chris, whenever he sent me, just so everyone knows, when he sent me the link for the post, it said embarrassing series loss. And I texted him back and said, I thought we won the series. And he says, no. And so the score that I had in my head was 7-6. Well, that was the Boston game that we won on like Monday. So it was not a good weekend, man. It was, we'll give you the scores real quick and then we're going to get into this. 7-0 Friday, 5-4 on Saturday, and I had to go 12 innings on that one. We're going to get into that game because this really should have been a sweep by Baltimore and then a beatdown today. So let's start with Friday's debacle. Chris, what are your notes for Friday?
Well, Friday you had, again, the Astros taking some no-name pitcher and turning him into Sandy Koufax. If you guys are younger, don't know who Sandy Koufax is, we'll just say you turned him into Paul Skeens. Because essentially this lineup, what did he have, a perfect game going through like, 8.5 or something like that?
Yeah.
Into the eighth.
To the eighth inning. You got no hit to the eighth inning by a guy who came into that game with an over 6 ERA, right?
It was a perfect game. It was a perfect game.
So
I
can
not a no-hitter. Perfect.
Yeah, I could get it if this was like, I don't know, Ohtani coming back from an injury stint. And, at the end of the day, well, it's on Ohtani. When he's on, he's on. I mean, but again, it goes to show, like, this offense, like, I know we talked, and I don't want to get too ahead because I have a whole lot more stuff to say about the rest of this series, but we talked with Mike Farron was that Wednesday, Thursday? Thursday. And I'm starting to see more of like how I'm tending to disagree with him about runners in scoring position don't matter. Because guess what? If you don't score those runners in scoring position, you don't put up runs. We scored a total of 5? Another series in the last 2-3 series where we were held to 6 or less runs in 3 games. This offense right now is atrocious. It is tough to watch. We thought that once we got Correa, Sanchez has been smashed ass in the last 4 or 5 games. He's kind of disappeared. This offense has been garbage, straight garbage. And we thought that with the addition of Sanchez and Urias and Correa that, okay, here we go. Correa, we're gonna turn it around. I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, I guess hats off to that kid. Hats off to Urias for breaking up the almost perfecto. But at the end of the day, this this was a series you should have won. I mean, whatever. I don't care. Go.
Okay. I guess I'm up next. Anyway, so that game, Pena had an illness, which, like I think I was saying, he had too much taqueria around us, and that hit him too hard. But anyway, so he was out of the game on Friday. And yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say. I mean, they had a perfect game going all the way to the eighth. I mean, into the eighth, not just to the eighth, into the eighth. So to reiterate what Chris was saying, not only did the offense completely struggle against a mediocre pitcher, but the one thing I also do want to bring up is, okay, so our offense isn't doing that great, but what do you expect when our offense isn't coming through? You're expecting the starting pitching to go deep, starting pitching not to give up runs, and you're expecting your bullpen to come through solid. None of those things happened either. We lost by a touchdown to a guy that has almost a 7 ERA. So offense aside, pitching looked bad too. I mean, there's a whole lot of blame to go around in that locker room. And I don't know if they need to have a closed door meeting or what, but I hope that some of these leaders step up and say something. And that's just a little bit of a prelude coming into the next two games. So, PK, what you got?
So would you say if they're gonna have a player combo that they should not do it to the media? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they need to have a closed doors like player meeting, like no media, no nothing, and one of these leaders like Altuve, Correa, both of them. I'm trying to think of what to say without cursing, so that's where I'm stuck at right now. But anyway.
I would say just send it. I would just say send it. And tell me how you really feel.
I think Correa needs to close the doors on that locker room and sit everybody down and just say it smells like bitch in here, because that's exactly what it is, all the way around.
I think he needs to start with Framber Valdez. Is what I think he needs to do.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's where he needs to start with. I'm getting. He's like lazy in the field when he didn't cover home again in this game. Another like mental error because the game's not going his way, right? He doesn't cover home. He lets, I think, 2 more runs score. And then instead of talking in the locker room, player to player, coach to coach, however it was, he goes to the media and pitches again, right? This is twice we've seen recently. So the frustration level for me is like it's the calling out of the players. I get it, like you're pissed off, whatever, but the media is not the route to go to call your teammates out for positioning or plays in the outfield. Like you sucked, Fromber. You sucked on Friday. You were not good. Dubin.
Oh my God, I was gonna say what he needs to do is shut the door and have a damn sock party with Dubin.
Yeah,
but Dubin, not aware what a sock party is. You fill a sock up with fucking soap and you beat the shit out of him with it. Because I'm about tired of. I don't know why he decided he needs to shave his beard off. I don't know. I didn't even recognize him today, but he's been hammered ass as well. Hammered ass.
And if you need a visual of a sock party, watch Full Metal Jacket. There's a visual. So, Dubin is just complete garbage. Since he's come back from the injury list, we talked about it. Chris is about to give some stats on it. But he gave up 3. I mean, just throwing softballs, right? He gave up 4 runs today, 3 runs on Friday, 4 today. Chris, what was it? What was his line for his last 11 innings or 4 innings or something like that? What was it?
So his last 7 games, he's pitched in 6.2 innings. He's given up 15 hits, 11 earned runs. That puts his ERA at 14.85. And we talked about it. We talked about it on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever last time we went live. I don't know. About how the biggest issue now with Hader being out, and now he's out for the rest of the season, is that how are you going to get from starter to Jesus Christ,
Brian
Abreu? Yeah. So And right now, you haven't figured that out because Caleb Ort looks like hammered ass. Dubin looks like ass. Okert has been shaky the last. I mean, he's been solid, but this last handful of games, he's been shaky. Who else are you going to go to? De Los Santos. I'm about to get into that one too because you can thank Jordan Westberg because otherwise, like PK said, we should have got swept. But this bullpen has been hammered ass these last like 2 series. It's not been good. And I mean, like, I just don't know, again, if the well has run dry as far as, like, again, like we talked about, are we riding the coattails of that fantastic June that we had? I mean, because I don't know. I mean, because right now, this team looks like it's, like, I don't want to face anybody in the playoffs right now at this point. But let's get into the second game.
Really, second game, real inconsistent. So look, you talked about runners in scoring position. So on Friday, you can't score if you only have one guy in scoring position.
You had one hit.
Yeah. But yeah, look, Dubin was terrible on Friday. So we go into Saturday. Costanza starting. Look, man, this is 3 starts in a row that Costanza has pitched 6+ innings and allowed 2 or fewer runs. 3 innings in a row, or 3 games in a row. Like, this guy came in and did exactly what you needed him to do, what he's been doing the last 2 starts. And you had some offense. I mean, we scored 2 in the first. I mean, I don't remember how they scored. Let's see. I don't have it, but they scored 2 in the first. So you're leading 3. I'm sorry, that's going into the 12th. The point is that Costanza came out and did another 6-inning game, another quality start for you, and he leaves with the lead until the bullpen comes up. Sousa on this night is the one that gives up the 2 runs that tied the game. So Sousa's been kind of a gem, I guess, for the most part, but he's had his moments like he did on Saturday where he's given up, the lead, big clutch hits to the other team. So, Braz, what do you have what were your thoughts on Saturday? We'll get into the later innings because that was really when like the game was at its most interesting. Was there's so many mistakes by both teams for Saturday. So, what do you have?
Yeah, no, this was the highlight of the weekend. And I know that we can nitpick about it, but the one thing I am pretty happy about is this was Billy Wagner's his number retirement ceremony.
Yeah.
And for the Hall of Fame, obviously got into the Hall of Fame weekend. We've got all these things culminating. And if they were going to pick a game to win, I'm really glad that this is the one where they hustled and actually did it. And you could tell, like, the guys on the field, Alexander looked like he was focused. He was pitching really, really well. The guys that were out there, I mean, Altuve DH'd and still he hit a home run. He looked like he was hustling. I could see him in the dugout. He was actually going over there and like coaching some of the other younger players, which in the past I've seen him just kind of hang out with Espada on the side or just go hang out with like Jeremy Pena on the side, not really do anything, but he was actually kind of coaching these guys. And listen, I will say that you're right. They gave the Orioles multiple opportunities to win this game, especially in extra innings. I mean, everybody in the entire stadium was about to have a heart attack as we were getting to each inning as it progressed from about 7 on. So, I've been very disappointed in this bullpen, the whole weekend, and it looks absolutely terrible. These guys look exhausted. They look like they don't care. I know that's not the case. I know they do care, but I don't know what the deal is. The bullpen as of right now is probably my biggest culprit of what's going on, other than, like we said, the offense on Friday and then again today. But still, anyway, we're on Saturday, and I will tell you, we did pull it out 5-4 in 12 innings. Great game to be at. Great to see Billy Wagner retire his number. And, the pomp and circumstance that went with it. So that is the highlight of the weekend.
Browse, did you get a bobblehead?
No, sir, I did not. Thanks for reminding me. No, got there 2 hours before the game started to not get a bobblehead because they opened the stadium up at 3:30.
Listen, if we're going to talk about promotions, I'm going to get on my soapbox. I've been to 2 games this season. Both the games they've had the promotions that I wanted to get. One of them was the
River Hat?
City Connect, that too, the River Hat. and then they had the City Connect
We got the
stupid chain, right? And so, those, I more so wanted the River Hat the most, but whatever.
It's nice.
We were there early enough to get it, and you walk around the stupid stadium and you see, oh, man, you see fuckers.
Say it.
With
Send
multiple,
it. Send it.
multiple chains and multiple fucking hats, like because they're all gone. So they go to different gates and just keep getting the same crap over and over, and it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Like it's really pisses me off. So that's my little soapbox on the promotion stuff. That's it. Let's get into Saturday. Let's get into Saturday's game so I can calm back down. Saturday, you were 3 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Now, granted, we played 3 extra innings, so every inning you start off with a runner at scoring position.
But
what you got,
they
Ross?
had runners in scoring position, which is better than they can say for Friday.
And that's a fact. But the fact that, yes, I guess the thing is, you had 15 guys that you could have played. Now, like most teams, if not, they don't go 100%. I understand that. I'm not asking for 100%, but like 6 for 15 would be cool. Like 7 for 15. Hitting 500 around that. Score half of them. But like we talked about in the opening, a little bit and offline is Jackson Holiday when you had Yiner, and I forget. I think it had to have been the 11th. Was it the 11th inning? I think when he did this, I think it was. You had Yiner Diaz at first. I think you had a runner at second also, and it was Walker hit the ground. Walker was at bat, so he hits a ground ball to Holiday. Now, when they even Space City Network went back to show the play where Holiday could have turned the double play to get out of the inning and be done. He chose not to, right? He chose not to. Then you also have the bases loaded winning run, right? The winning run where Westberg could have easily gone home to at least get the out at home on the force, but he tries to turn 2 with Urias running down the base path, and then Holiday doesn't have enough time to make the turn. He throws it away. Ball game, right? You had Altuve had 3 at bats. You're such a jerk. You're such a jerk. And you weren't even at the game.
I was at the game. They gave it away at the Space Cowboys game. I couldn't not have them bring it to me. I couldn't not have it do it. All right, sorry. Yeah. I didn't mean to pour salt on the wound.
That's like the only thing I wanted that game. That was it. I mean, like the Astros won. It was Father's Day. Like I was there with my son, so it was like the day was cool. Like the Astros won, but I wanted the freaking River hat. That's what I wanted. So, Chris, whenever I come over, I'm gonna find that hat and I'm gonna take it with me when I leave. So
that's fine.
But yeah, look, man, Saturday, it was a big win. We had to win that game because there were so many opportunities where we should have lost that game, right? The bullpen again. Sousa gives up the 2 runs. King or he pitched King Ort, Abreu, Okert. They all did their thing. No runs, obviously. De Los Santos gets the win. He goes 2 innings. Chris, what was your take on Saturday? Is there a lot to unpack on Saturday? I mean, there's a lot, especially late.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I really didn't watch a lot of it. I saw the Altuve home run.
That was after 3 piss poor at bats, though. And I'm not saying Altuve, but this is what we're grown accustomed to with him, where he has really piss poor at bats, and then he goes yard, and we praise him because he is the GOAT. I mean, we've been used to that for 13 seasons.
Well, I mean, I think it is at this point. I mean, he goes and hits a home run. I mean, so it's an automatic run, right? I mean, because it's a lot better than him hitting the double and then standing there for 3 other hitters just to not drive him in. I mean, so
yeah.
I mean, after that, I'll be honest with you, man. I passed out just to wake up and see that they won. And I remember a lot of people saying that De Los Santos was in the lineup. I guess he was on deck, which is why, like, you've got to know you've got to know the situation. Like if you're Jordan Westberg, you go home, get the force out of home, and force them to have to use a reliever to hit. You get out that inning, and with how terrible this bullpen's been, more than likely you get swept. The Astros should send the Orioles a fruit basket for not sweeping them because they should have swept the Astros. The Astros, like, again, I mean, like, and maybe some of these pitchers are getting overused to where now it's like these guys like Sousa and King. Now with Hader being gone, they have to, maybe Espada is thinking that, they have to like, put this even more weight on their shoulders. What I didn't like, and I don't know, I think it was Saturday's game, is that you had like you benched Urias, and I think Urias he's been pretty warm, but and it was kind of shocking to see him not in the lineup, especially. But my thing today, or I mean, are we still talking about Saturday's game? Or are we talking about today's game?
Saturday. Going to today.
Yeah,
That's fine. Let's go. Send it.
All right. So today, today was another fucking embarrassment. It was an embarrassment to watch. I mean, again, now I guess Javier had the shits after the third inning. He had to come out.
Yeah, he left
Was
with
that what happened?
Illness. Well, I just said illness.
Well, he had, so he had the
Taquerias
shits.
Arandas, man.
I mean,
Same
I'm
thing.
telling you, man.
You got it for Pena.
It's like, and again, why? I mean, I'm trying to figure out because, like, here's the thing: the Astros now have 10 games in 10 days, so there's no days off coming up soon. So it's like I mean, was it one of those things where they knew he wasn't feeling good, but he thought he can get through it? And I thought it was an arm injury because I saw his fastball was like at 90, and I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
But it's just like then the bullpen comes up. I don't even know who. I know Dubin got destroyed again.
Yeah.
Whoever else came in got destroyed. Oh, Caleb Orr. That's another guy. I'm about tired. I get it. I get it. Caleb Orr, we had a nice little fling last season, but that fling is gone. And I'm about tired of Taylor Trammell as well. Taylor Trammell, again, had a cool little run where he hit like 270 for like a week, but now he's referred back to the player that's been DFA'd by every single team that he's been on, right? And I understand there's nobody to plug in to get rid of him. I mean, but like, holy moly, that guy's again back down to what, almost 213 again. I mean, the offense is atrocious. I don't even know what their runners in scoring position was for today because after it was 6-0, I stopped watching.
They're 1 for 9.
And that's that. Well, yeah, that doesn't shock me. And that's what I'm saying. It is getting to the point with this offense. If they get down 5-0, I'm not watching this shit. I'm turning the shit off. I'm watching something else because it's like like I said, I'd turn it off to go to practice. I'd rather watch a bunch of 8 and 9-year-old kids learn the fundamentals of the game than watch the pros sit around and it's like monkeys humping a football. That bullpen, whoever they throw out there gets lit up. And again, you look at it, and I'm not saying Baltimore is a terrible team. Now, they're clearly underperforming from what the expectations were. They're a team that won 100 games last season, right? But they were also a team that sold every single guy at the trade deadline that was coming up on an expiring contract. So essentially, you have a bunch of young kids, and Charlie Morton got traded too.
Nice.
So you have technically, you have a bunch of young kids. So this is a very young team. So for you still having Altuve, Correa, Pena, you have who's the other guy? Sanchez has been in the league for a while. You had Fromber going. Fromber was outpitched by a kid, right? Because again, another series where your best start has come from Costanza, and it's just like again with Javier leaving this game today because he was sick. Again, you've now beaten up your bullpen, which is already beaten up. You're just coming off of what, a 12-inning game, right?
Yeah.
10, 12-inning game. And now here you are, your bullpen's got to come out and bail you out for another 6 innings or 5 or 6 innings. And then now we got Detroit coming up after this. I mean, and at this point, man, it's just like Fromber's now had 3 not so great starts in a row. And it seems like these last 3 starts, there's something that he does, whether it's not back up third or not back up home. He's been whining a lot. It's like, I don't know if he knows he's about to be a free agent, but I don't know. Like, I'm hearing way too much out of Fromber. It's just like, I don't want to hear you complain about stuff. Just do your job, and you'll be fine. But this series was tough to watch, and I'm almost glad I was so busy this weekend that I didn't have to like suffer through watching this, except for the little bit that I did get to watch. What about you, Browse?
Well, I'll pour salt on the wound here just a little bit. The Baltimore Orioles, after this series, are 57 and 67. They're 10 games under 500 and last in the AL East. And you did bring up a good point. They did win 100 games last season, and they had a really good season with a bunch of young kids. They've got a stacked farm system that, I mean, they brought a lot of these kids up, and they've been starting to perform a little bit for them. So I think their record's going to show a little bit better next year. But at the same time, we've talked about this for 4 or 5 podcasts in a row, but the Astros, for whatever reason, seem to play down to whatever their competition is. And they played down to a last place team is what they did. So you can't do that. You absolutely cannot let a team like this beat you. If you're looking at it on paper, it's got to be 2 or 3 at a minimum and should be close to a sweep, if not a sweep. Especially when we're in a series, especially we're in a race up against the Seattle Mariners. And just give you an update on that. The Mariners are losing to the Mets right now, 3-0. They've
3-1.
It's 3-1. Okay.
3-1, bases loaded, 2 outs, the Mariners at the plate.
Okay. Well, I should have said absolutely nothing. Awesome.
Cole Young's back.
Anyway, so my point with that is if the Mets could pull this out, you might be able to get away and not let them gain any ground on you, which would be the luckiest thing you possibly can. But still, coming up to this next series, we've got Detroit to handle, and Detroit is no joke, guys. Detroit is
73, 53.
Yeah, 73 and 53. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. And we all know AJ Hinch. We know how he manages the game. And listen, this is nothing, absolutely nothing to blow off. These guys are good. They sent us packing to Puerto Rico, to the Bahamas early after the wild card series last year. And trust me, they're going to try to do it again just in this season and this series coming up. So anyway, yeah, there's nothing to talk about on the Sunday game, man. It was 12-0. There was, I don't even have anything to say.
All right, well, let's get into Detroit and we'll get this thing wrapped up. So here's your probables for the series starting tomorrow. 3-game series at Detroit. Spencer Arrighetti, 1-3, 6.38 ERA against Flaherty, 6-12, 4.76. Tuesday, you have HB, 10-5 at 2.45 ERA against Tarek Skubal, 11-3, 2.42. It's going to be a good matchup. And then you've got on Wednesday, the aforementioned Framber Valdez, 11-6, 3.01 against Charlie freaking Morton, 8-10, 5.20. Don't let the 8-10, 5.20 ERA fool you with Charlie Morton. We talked about that before the trade deadline. The dude has been disgusting since prior to the deadline and then still. So, Chris, let's get you started, man. What do you think?
I'm going 1-2 Detroit.
Okay.
I mean, I
no faith in
the bullpen is in shambles. Your offense blows. And like I said, maybe me taking Detroit to win this will turn it around. And again, like I said, there's times the Astros do play down to the competition. Sometimes they play up. Sometimes you think they're going to dominate the Red Sox and they get swept. I mean, so sometimes you think they're going to dominate Oakland and they get swept in a 4-game series. The pitching, your best pitcher is Hunter Brown right now. And unfortunately, he has to go against Skubal, which is terrible because right now I'm 50-50 on Framber. Framber used to be automatic, but whatever's gone on the last month with him
anymore
is so I'm going 1-2 Detroit just because it's, again, offense can't score runs and the middle part of your bullpen is hammered dog shit as of right now.
All right, Bros, what you got?
I wasn't going to put it exactly like that, but I tend to agree with what Chris is saying. Arrighetti's not good right now. He has not found his groove yet, and I understand this is basically what he's walking into. Is I'm going to say midway through spring training. So, yeah, I'm not shocked that his ERA is 6.38 right now, but up against Flaherty. Flaherty's a good pitcher. His record doesn't necessarily show what he's been doing lately, but I think if we can get to anybody with our offense, Flaherty's going to be the one that we're going to take advantage of. So I think we can actually win that game. It's going to be a tough fought game. Now, the next one, Brown and Skubal. If we're looking at pitching alone, I think that it's going to be pretty even. But right now, I tend to take Detroit's offense clicking a lot better than ours. So I'm going to chalk us up for a tough loss on that one. And then Valdez and Morton. If you look at that on paper, Fromber should win this game. Astros should win this game. We go home up 2-1, and we're good to go. The way that Fromber's been handling himself publicly in the media, it sounds like even with his teammates, I don't really hold any faith that he can do anything either. So I agree with Chris. I think it's going to be 1-2. I hate to say it, but I think we're going to lose 2 out of 3.
Okay, so the Arrighetti thing. Look, he had 5 walks his last outing. I know you don't want to say aside from the walks, he looked good, but I mean he didn't look too bad except he walked a lot. So he's got to get the walks down if Houston has a chance on Monday, tomorrow. Hunter Brown, I think he went 6 2/3, I think, on his last outing. I think he he was right there. I think Espada did the right thing in pulling him out at the time he did in his last outing because the Red Sox were starting to get to him. So it's just a really tough matchup with Skubal. I mean, that dude's filthy, right? I mean, we saw it last year. We saw it in the postseason. If you watch any baseball during this season, you know how good Skubal is. Oh man, like I do agree with the playing down to their competition. So I'm gonna go the opposite way. I'm gonna take a 2-1 series here because they're gonna play up to this. It is not gonna be easy, right? And it is not gonna be easy. I don't know if I have the Fromber as the second win to go with what you were saying, Brawls. I don't trust Fromber right now, right? With the bad pitching that he has, the pouting, about positioning of the players, the calling out your teammates in the media. It sounds like someone that's already packed his bags and is out the door, in free agency. That's what it sounds like. So, like I said, I'm not saying Arrighetti gets a win. I'm not at all, but I do think the Astros will play up to their talent. I think they, some of these guys should have a bitter taste in their mouth from last postseason. I know we handled the Tigers earlier in the season, right? So I'm going to take 2-1. We're going to play up to this. You want to line yourself with or measure yourself against these good teams. So I'll take 2-1 on the Astros. A few more things before we get out of here. Yordan Alvarez, it was announced that he will be making a rehab start Tuesday in Corpus Christi. Reevaluate after that. So we'll see. Hopefully that is good. I mean, it's a good thing that he's away from Florida and now back in Texas to do his rehab starts. So, we'll get that big bat in the lineup. But, we talked about it offline before we came on. It's like it's fantastic that he's, hitting and going to his rehab. But, he's missed 4 months of baseball, right? And so where's the timing going to be when he does come back? I mean, we need his bat pre-injury, not even pre-injury, because he really wasn't swinging the bat well, right, because of his hands. So we need him to come back and have instant pop as soon as he gets into the lineup. So we'll see how his thing goes on Tuesday. See what the Astros say about it, and hopefully we see him within the next week. So, but that's kind of it. You look, man, and real quick, we do have the Orioles after the Tigers, so you're gonna face this Orioles team again. So this time will be at Camden Yards, right? So
great.
Yeah. So you need to handle business against Detroit. I'm taking 2-1. Riles and Moreno are going 1-2. And I get the reasoning behind it as well. We'll see what happens tomorrow. First pitch is at 5:40. Mr. Arrighetti's on the hill. So until then, guys, I hope you had a great weekend. A lot better than the Astros did. We'll start this new series tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday, regular time. But until then, I appreciate you guys listening to the Juicebox Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK. That's Chris. That's Bryles. We'll talk to you then.
Welcome.
I swear, I
Getting
think I
close.
just need
2
a hug.
weeks. 2 weeks, baby. Yeah, someone needs to hug you.